Welcome back to the channel, guys. So since the AtGames National Owners Day is approximately a week away at the time of this filming, I wanted to talk about AtGames as a company and just get honest here for a minute, since there hasn't been a whole lot of coverage of this topic on YouTube as of late. All right, so let's not waste any time. Let's get into it. Now, when most people think of AtGames, I'm sure what comes to mind is a lot of their previous products, like these clone consoles or these controllers with a dongle, things you hook up to your TV. The emulation was poor, the ROMs were not what was promised, like on the back of the box. I'm sure you remember John Hancock did a video where he was given one of those clone consoles. It had like arcade ROMs on it when he received it, but when it hit store shelves, it actually had like NES ROMs. A lot of people have voiced their displeasure with AtGames products over the years, and rightly so. Now, fast forward to November of 2019, AtGames decided to enter the 3/4 scale arcade space, and they did that with the AtGames Legends Ultimate. And what that was this machine that was slightly larger than an arcade 1-up, but it had a lot of preloaded games. Some were console games, some were arcade games. But the difference was that they encouraged you to hook up a PC and use these different modes, like OTG mode, where you could run Steam or just coin ops, other things through your computer or USB drive to the AtGames Legends Ultimate. And it had all these different deck inserts, or they'd have a control panel with pinball buttons on the side. There was a built-in spinner, a built-in trackball, kind of an all-in-one multicade. It's a neat concept. Now, when you're trying to do all that and make it all work, obviously you need a lot of updates to make all these things kind of come together. And the problem was, in the beginning, when you would do one of these updates, it would just always seem to have an effect. One thing would maybe be fixed, but then 3 other things would end up not working properly. Now, for the most part, that ALU was received pretty well in the community. People that got the unit, people that bought it, whether they were an influencer or not, seemed to really enjoy it. You can take these reviews with a grain of salt, whether they've been influenced because they were given the product, but it just seemed like the consensus was that this was actually a decent product, despite some of those update issues. So then the AtGames Legends Pinball was announced. I loved the idea of it, and the specs seemed to be much better than the arcade 1-up pinball. So I was one of the early adopters of this. And initially, when I got mine, I was not very impressed with the sound. The built-in games were, I thought, horrible, the 22 that were built in. But once I got some of these other table packs that they offer, I was getting to like it more and more. Now, I went back and forth with AtGames. I made a few videos about the sound. Mainly it came from the exciters and how the sound was routed to those exciters. And the exciters were basically something that was taking the place of solenoids as far as feedback in the machine when you would hit a bumper or hit your flippers. Ultimately, the solution was to just modify it yourself, or take them out and replace them with like Dayton exciters, or to just disconnect them all together. Other than that, I've been pretty happy. And there was a time that I was playing this every single day for months and months and months, every day, because I love the leaderboards. I love the fact that you could run coin ops in vertical mode. I just really love this machine, and it fit in the space that I had perfectly. But I started noticing, as they started rolling out these updates weekly, that they would list all of these things that it was fixing, but yet it would break like 3 or 4 others. And I started noticing, once I joined the forums on Facebook, that updating was a stupid thing. Don't do the updates. Now, I think at one point you had to have more current updates in order to get some of these later table packs. I'm not 100% sure on that. So I was still doing the updates, even though I knew you really shouldn't do them, and some people hadn't done them for 6 months. But it finally got to the point where I learned my lesson. And that brings us to really why I wanted to make this video. So the last couple updates that AtGames has put out has literally broken machines. It has broken control panels. It has disabled sound almost altogether. And this is unacceptable. So there's a lot of people that are just joining this community. They're just getting into this They have no idea what they're getting into. They open it up, they do an update, and then they realize, what have I just done? They go to these forums, and everybody's been preaching for the past 2 weeks, don't do the updates. So they don't know, and you can't blame them. But it's like, I can't even open up Facebook anymore without seeing another question. What have I done? Why? I didn't know about this update problem. And this has been going on, and it just like, it breaks my heart to see these people so disappointed. I just felt like I had to voice my opinion. What's really disappointing is a lot of these influencers that are getting these products that are aware of this. People that work with AtGames, they get information prior to releases, they get products for review, and in lieu of you get the product for free, but you have to do a review. They're the ones that seem to be silent. They really need to come out and be more honest about AtGames as a company and these updates and how they're just wrecking the machines. When you got over 10,000 subscribers or 50,000 or 100 and you're working with AtGames, you know these issues are going on. You see in the Facebook forums, and I think that you're doing the public a disservice by not being honest and saying, hey, we've got a problem here. Again, I'm not really having that many issues right now with mine. There are a few tables that are still broken. These are built-in tables. The ball will go into a certain spot and it just locks up. It won't kick out, and you have to do the call attendant button. But then you're losing score bonuses because that function isn't happening. And it's just really frustrating because there are updates to all the table packs right now. But if I did them, it would be a total disaster. It would be 10 times worse than what it is right now. Again, I just wanted to kind of get this out there. The only other YouTuber that I saw that was kind of voicing their opinion was Todd Russell. His channel though was very small. Todd's a guy that just doesn't give a shit. He says what's on his mind, and I respect that. But he's got less than 50 subs. So I just thought maybe if people could see this on a channel that was a little bit larger, kind of gain some traction and get the ball rolling, maybe AtGames would respond. And I'll put a link for Todd's channel in the description. He's a great guy. Again, he's just one of these people that just tells it like it is, no filter, and I love that kind of shit. So what needs to happen here? Well, I think AtGames needs to come out with a very sincere public apology. Make a video if you have to, but acknowledge the problem and sincerely apologize to everyone that has bought one of your products and done one of your shitty ass updates. If you look back at celebrities that have had scandals, what people really respond to is a sincere apology. You can do the most heinous of things, but an apology goes a long way, and that's just a start. But that's what needs to happen first. And number two, you need to promise that you will fix these issues right away. Not we're working on it, not down the road, but you need to fix them right now. And anyone who had a product damage from one of your updates, replace that part free of charge. Also, please work on this best-in-class customer service that you claim is so great. It's not. It's a hot mess. And while you're at it, fix that laggy, buggy arcade streaming service called ArcadeNet. It's an embarrassment, and it seems like it's still in beta mode. And test your updates. Test them. Is there anyone working for this company that is selling thousands of these machines a day? Is anyone product testing these updates? I just don't understand it. How can you say you're fixing 20 fucking things, but you're messing up 10 other things, and you're bricking people's systems, and you're messing up their control panels that cost $200 a piece, and now they're rendered useless, or the trackball doesn't work, or the back glass is now black, or the sound is non-existent. But I would think a product that has been out this long wouldn't have any problems to fix. It just amazes me that they're still doing these messed up multiple 20 fix updates, and each time it's messing something else up that never had a problem to begin with. So AtGames, if you're listening, please come out and apologize. Acknowledge that you have put out some bad updates that have led to people wasting their money, and at this point their warranties are up, and they have to then fork over money to you for a new board that was fried due to your update. And fix this immediately, and try and salvage this National Owners Day, which is supposed to be a celebration for current and future owners, and just do the right thing here. How can you celebrate a company when you're weekly screwing people over when they do one of your updates.
You know what? I apologize for nothing else.
All right, guys, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. It really helps out. All right, I will see you all next time. Thank you so much for watching.